Hi everybody, welcome to another full body dumbbell workout. I'm Coach Ali, this is Steph, and today we're going to work on some 2-in-1 dumbbell combinations.
We're really interested to find out what you guys are liking about our videos, so make sure you leave a comment down below. Tell us what you like, tell us what you don't, tell us what you want from our workouts in future.
While we're at it guys, remember to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, so that you can keep up with the workouts that we give you guys weekly. Now, as you probably already know, 10 p.m. every Tuesday we'll give you a beginner's version of the workout of the week, and on Thursday we'll give you an advanced version for all of you guys who've been training with us for a while now.
Really excited about this workout. It's something that can be done at home or in the gym like us.
You guys only need a single dumbbell for this one, so get your single dumbbell ready. Make sure you've got a little bit of space around you, free from trip hazards, and let's get started. We will see you
on the other side.
Indeed. Alright guys, let's start this workout with your warm-up exercise, which is a squat, a front raise, a shoulder press, and a deadlift. Now you can see we're starting with our feet parallel at shoulder width or even marginally wider if you like. Squat with your upper body nice and straight and try to drop your butt down close to the floor. When you front raise, make sure that your knees are marginally bent and that you're squeezing your core as you're pushing forward. And then when you're deadlifting, focus on your hinge. Okay, so dropping into a squat for this one, guys, nice and deep, and then work your way into a front raise nice and steady and go all the way up with it until you get into that position where you can hit your triceps overhead extension. Now, make sure that your elbows remain in front of you. We don't want those hanging out when you're doing your triceps extensions. And then make sure that you're squatting nice and deep and that you've got ample control over your movement. Try not to posture forward. This exercise is a goblet thruster with a calves raise. So start with your feet parallel at shoulder width, get into that squat and then push all the way up into a close grip shoulder press. And as you're going up into the shoulder press, make sure you hit your calves raise at the same time. Focus on maintaining your balance when you go into the calves raise and make sure it's steady, controlled movement. Okay, this is a legit advanced exercise, guys. We're gonna step back into an isometric reverse lunge, and then we'll twist to the side, maintain your height, and then rotate forward and hit your front press. Now, we're gonna go through this for an entire set, and then we'll switch legs and do the other side as well. Make sure you maintain your height and make sure that your lunge is lengthy enough, because you don't wanna pressure your hips and you don't want to hyperflex your front knee either. Okay, this one's a little bit tricky. We're gonna start with a nice deep squat, and then we're gonna transition our posture into a deadlift and then work our way back up into the standing position. So you can see we're starting with feet at shoulder width or marginally wider. Make sure that your feet are nice and parallel. Make sure it's a nice deep squat. And then as you lift, we're gonna hinge forward into that deadlift position and then work your way all the way back up. Nice wide deep sumo squat for this exercise, guys, and on your way up we're going to go straight into a calves raise. This is a fantastic way of squatting if your knees are a little bit sensitive. Make sure that your feet are at 45 degrees and make sure that your squat is wide enough for this one. When you drop down, make sure your knees don't cave towards the middle. They have to stay on top of your foot, and then go into a nice tall calves raise. Goblet squat into side squats for this one, you guys. This one's a little bit tricky. So start with your goblet squat with your feet parallel at shoulder width and just watching your neutral spine as you do it. And then step to one side lightly and go into a nice wide side squat before coming back into your goblet squat and then hitting your side squat on the other side. Now make sure when you do your side squat, your feet remain parallel and make sure that your opposite knee remains nice and straight. We'll start this duo with a neutral grip front raise, and then we'll go into a neutral grip upright row. So you can see we're starting with the right side, so we'll do a set on the right and a set on the left. Now make sure your knees remain marginally bent for this one, and then keep the entire upper body nice and static. Bring your front raise all the way up to your eye line, and then make sure you go nice and high with your upright row. Lift both your elbow and your shoulder and try and really emphasize your traps. A little bit of a tricky combination for this one, guys. We're going to start with a biceps hammer curl, and then when you're at the top of it, we're going to go into an L-shaped delts raise. Return back to the top of your hammer curl and then just work your way back to the bottom into your rest position. Now again, making sure that there's no swinging of the hips. We want to try and keep that upper body nice and still. Start with the rotation at your elbow and then move it into your shoulders. So we want 90 degrees on each one of those. bent over single arm row with a pulse on top of it. So when you're in that bent over position, make sure that you're pushing your butt out and that you're holding a neutral spine. We don't want any curvature in the back when you're doing it. And then you can see when we lift the row, your elbows are tucked in by your sides, so they're not hanging out. It's essentially just a vertical lift, and imagining a vertical line from your wrist all the way to your elbow. Now, take these pulses as high as you can. From that bent over position, we're going to go into a reverse hammer fly and then change it into a biceps hammer curl. So when you do the hammer fly, it's really important that your shoulders don't move. We don't want any up-down rotation. We want to try and stay in a pronated upper body. Then when you do your biceps hammer curl, it's really important that the upper part of your arm remains vertical the whole time. It's just a matter of hitting that 90-degree curl. A dumbbell fly raise with a biceps lift for this combination. So the fly raise is going across your body and your elbows are remaining relatively soft straight, so there's no curling motion. And then when you come down to the bottom, we're going to go into a biceps lift. So the dumbbell lifts vertical and your elbow pushes back when you're doing your biceps lift. You have to make sure you don't confuse it for a biceps curl. start with a halo for this exercise and let's move into a two-handed biceps curl. It basically looks like a hammer curl because your hands remain neutral during the curl. Now you can see we're doing the halo from one side, hitting that biceps curl, and then switching and doing the halo from the other side. So it's going to take a little bit of coordination to get this one right. Very important to keep your knees slightly bent, keep your hips behind you and keep it static. So we don't want any swinging back and forth or any movement in the hips at all. This one's going to test your motor skills, guys. So let's go from a triceps kickback into a triceps backswing. So you can see we're in that bent over position with the hinge and neutral spine. You can see that we're using our hands to support our thigh. And then go into that triceps kickback by lifting your elbow right up and then hitting the triceps extension from there. For the second repetition, the elbow remains soft straight and we're just rotating back with the shoulder for this one. All right, let's lift into an isometric glutes bridge for this one, guys. And then we're gonna alternate leg extensions, working a left and a right while holding onto your isometric glutes bridge. So you've got to make sure that your glutes and your erectors are engaged the whole time. Now make sure your leg extensions are nice and steady, and you can see that we're going all the way and flexing our foot at the top. Okay, a really good multifaceted exercise for this one, guys. We're working a can opener, so you can see the shoulder blades and head is off the floor so that there's a core engagement there and there's protection in the back and the neck. And then we're opening right up with straight legs and then squeezing and closing them, bringing those ankles together. So you're getting your abductors and adductors outside and inside of your legs working for this one. Another fantastic exercise for the booty, guys. So we're basically starting with a weighted donkey kick, and then we're circling right out and finishing in our 4-point position. Now make sure that you're holding onto the dumbbell with your plantar rest by flexing your foot and squeezing your heels and maintaining it throughout your motion. Now make sure that there's no swing in the upper body, so try to keep that as static as you can and keep the rotation at your hips only. Feet together with your knees wide, going into a frog leg glutes bridge for this one. So you can see we've got our feet facing each other, knees are as wide as we can take it, and we're hitting the glutes bridge from there. And then just putting a pulse at the top of it for an extra bit of emphasis. Make sure you keep a nice steady pace for this one, and then just make sure that your head is rested on the floor. Try and squeeze with your glutes and erectors and get as high as you can for this one. Russian twist into a seated incline press for this exercise, guys. You can see our feet are grounded on the floor and we've got our toes pointing up. Our back is nice and neutral, and you want to try not to sit on your tailbone. You want to try and sit on your butt cheek. Then go into your Russian twist. So keep those elbows nice and tight. And then we'll go into that seated incline press by extending in front of you and just making sure that you're pushing in an upward motion. From 4 points position, we're going to hit a fire hydrant, but you can see that we've got a pulse at the top of it. So this one's really going to burn the outer glutes. So it's fantastic for shaping the booty. Now, it's very important to hold the dumbbell in place at your plantaris at the back of your knees. So you've got to make sure that you've got a flexed foot and that you're pulling your heel back towards your butt so that you're not dropping your dumbbell throughout this one. Lying in your supine position, we're going to go into a wide chest press and we're going to combine it with a neutral grip chest press. So you can see that we're using the opposite hand as a guide. You can also see that the head is grounded and the lower back is pinned against the floor as well for support. Then make sure you've got good control over your presses. So one of them is nice and wide and the other one is narrow with your elbow tucked in by your ribs. Working our weighted half jackknives for this one. So we're going to do a set on the left and a set on the right. So you can see opposite hand and leg working together. Now the leg comes up nice and straight. And then when you're lifting the arm, you've got to make sure that your head and shoulder blades move with it because we've got to make sure that we're protecting our lower back. Let's try a set on the left and then switch hands and legs and do the right as well. Starting in your supine position, we're going to work through a pair of cross-body crunches and then press crunch right down the middle. So this is fantastic because we're going to work through the entire abdominal range and we're going to get through to the intercostals as well. Now, make sure that your lower back is grounded the whole time and that make sure that you're tucking your chin in and lifting your head and shoulder blades throughout all of your crunch repetitions. Your turn to have a go at this one.
Well done for getting through today's workout, guys. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Make sure you leave a comment down below. Tell us what you like, tell us what you didn't like, what you want to see more of moving forward.
Absolutely. And remember, if you haven't, hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on the weekly workouts that we bring to you guys. Now, if you enjoyed the workout with us today, can we ask that you share it on your social media with your friends? Let's try and get them in shape as well. We'd love to be able to help as many people as we can.
Have an amazing week, guys, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
See you soon.